We are down to our last two TBRs of the year, and that's kind of insane. I think this year has gone by the fastest of any year. In like recent memory for me, I think, because like when you're always on a deadline with something, time goes by, I feel like, a lot faster. But anyways, I have my November TBR to share with you guys. I don't have my reading journal over here with me. I'm dog sitting at my parents', so I just had to like fill out on my notes app. So I don't know if I have enough spaces to fill up them when I transferred it into my reading journal. And also I can't pull one for my physical TBR. So we're just kind of like winging it this month a little bit. Also, I'm really, really heavily into mood reading right now. So like, will I even read any of these books? I don't know, but quite a few of them I did download on my Kindle to take on vacation with me. I am going on a cruise soon. I obviously needed to download a bunch of books so that way when I'm on the cruise, I have things to read. So I have a lot of these downloaded. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump in. And the first one that I have up on my TBR, which I also had on my October one, I'm putting it on this one again, is The Striker by Anna Huang, because I did not get around to this one in October. It did come out like right towards the end of the month, so I just have not had the time to read it yet, but I still for sure want to read this one. This is Anna Huang's newest release. Hi Aria, thanks for yelling. She wants to read it as well. This is a sports romance. It is a soccer romance between our hero, who's a soccer player, and then his rival's little sister, I think, and she's a ballerina, and I think she ends up like helping train him or maybe like rehab him a little bit. I don't know, but obviously with the rivalry that comes between the brother and the hero, I'm assuming it's like a no, don't touch my sister, which like love those vibes. I love Anna Huang. We know this. Yeah, I'm gonna read anything that she writes, and I'm really excited about this one, especially with it being a sports romance. And now I don't know about you, but like when I'm on vacation, I like reading sports romances in particular. I think maybe it's something about like the more like summery vibes of them that I just kind of feel like reading them when I'm on vacation. So I say that, but then I'm going to completely switch gears here, and I have Born Darkly by Trisha Wolfe also on my TBR. So this one, I went through my Goodreads. I like reverse searched my Goodreads because like I just feel like nothing is like super appealing to me right now that I've added recently. And I'm like, let me go back and see what I added like 4 years ago to my TBR. And this is one that I have had on there forever, and I have never read it. And I know like when I talk about this book, people like say it's really great. So I'm excited to read this one. I think it is a forensic psychologist or something, or like an FBI like interrogator or something, and then a criminal, and it's like, or like a profiler and a criminal, and she ends up falling in love with the criminal that she's like supposed to be, I don't know, like interviewing or interrogating. Yeah, she ends up falling in love with a killer or like a serial killer, which, okay, you do you. Very excited. And I feel like I haven't really read, like, have I read dark romances recently? I feel like I haven't read something like really dark recently. Probably not since Madness. So I'm interested to read this one. Next up, another one that I've had on my TBR for years is My Darling Arrow by Saffron Kent. So this is the first book in the St. Mary's Rebels. And again, this entire series, I think like all of these books sound good. Every single time she released a new one in it, I was like, oh, I need to go back and start My Darling Arrow. And I just never, ever, ever have gotten around to it, but it's a sister's ex-boyfriend's romance. I don't know if there's cheating in it. And then also he's the principal's son of the like boarding school that she's sent away to. I don't really know, I guess, from there, like how these two get connected, but listen, Saffron Kent's heroines especially, they're like a very particular type of heroine, and I really enjoy them. They're oftentimes a little crazy for the hero. They sometimes can be a little stalkery, a little obsessive, and I don't know, I just think they're really fun. And also her heroes, at least again with all the ones that I've read, all of the heroes are assholes. So I'm hoping that this one's gonna give similar vibes. I love some of Saffron Kent's books, like some of my all-time favorites. So I'm really excited to dive into this series that I have literally had on my TBR for forever. Next up, I have The Lies We Steal by Monty J. So again, I think I had this one on a TBR a couple months back. Again, it's been buried on my Goodreads for years. It's the first book in the Hollowed Boys series, and it again is a dark romance series following, I think, four best friends. And I think there's like a death that happens within their group, and then like things unravel after that, and it's like a dark romance. I don't know, I've heard people kind of say like if you love Devil's Night series by Penelope Douglas, which yes, and if you love Legacy of God series by Rena Kent, which yes, then that you'd like this. So I feel like I need to like complete that little trinity and now read this series because Devil's Night and Legacy of Gods are two of my all-time favorites. Yeah, we'll see. I've never read anything by Monty J before, so I'm excited to read from a new to me author as well. So yeah, we will see how this rolls. Next up, we have book 2, which actually, okay, I didn't remember what the title, I think it's actually Tempted by Deception by Rena Kent. It's the second book in the Vow of Deception trilogy. So I read the first book a couple months back. Was really excited about the cliffhanger, but of course with my mood reading, I was not in the mood to jump right into the second book, so I'm like, I'm gonna take a break and I'll revisit it when I'm in the mood. Well, I'm now in the mood again, and I want to keep going with Adrian and Leah's story. So they are the parents of 2 of the people from Legacy of Gods, and that's when I was like, okay, I need to read these parents' books, and I really loved the first one. It's like a mafia arranged marriage type deal. So in the first, I can't obviously say what I think is gonna happen in the second book because that would give it away. But in the first one, basically Leah, she is homeless, and all of a sudden this man comes up to her and basically coerces her into marrying him because she is like a doppelganger for his wife who is dead. He needs her to come and be his pretend wife because he's in the mafia and people can't know that his wife is not around anymore. And she ends up doing it. Yeah, I really enjoyed the first book. Like I said, my mood got out of the mafia mood when I was done with it, and now I'm back into it. So now I want to get back into this. Next up, we have another mafia one, which actually is on my physical TBR. I have this entire series, but I found it again scrolling through my Goodreads, and that's Crow by A. Zavarelli. I have had the Boston Underworld series on my TBR for years. So many people love this mafia series. It's 6 books, and they're all like fairly short too, which like I kind of need right now. Every single book I feel like is like 500, 600 pages, and I'm like, I just need something a little more bite size, okay? I don't have a lot of time to read these days, so like I just want something that makes me feel accomplished a little bit quicker. And this one, I think our hero is in the mafia, and our heroine, I'm pretty sure her like best friend or maybe her sister or something like went missing, and she thinks that he had something to do with it, so now she like tries to infiltrate him to find out, or like get revenge or find out where the friend/sister is, right? I think that's the premise of this one. I could be wrong. It could be a different book in the series, but I'm pretty sure that it's this one. We will see. Next up, another one that I have on my physical TBR, but I always forget about, is There Are No Saints by Sophie Lark. I, again, have wanted to read this duet for so long, and I think he's a serial killer, right? Isn't he? Which I feel like, again, just like with fall, I kind of like, I want the serial killer vibes, I guess. But I'm pretty sure he is a serial killer. And maybe does he stalk her as well? But if there's anything that I know about Sophie Lark's heroines is like that she's not like some damsel in distress that's like caught the eye of some serial killer or stalker. Like, I don't know anything about the heroine. Like, I can't remember, but there's no way that she's like a damsel in distress. So she probably like fights back. And I love that. So I'm really excited for this duet. I can't really say anything else about it except that I think he like catches her hooking up with someone else like on his art or something, and then doesn't he like kill the guy? I don't know. I feel like that's like, I know that scene for some reason. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm excited to get around to it. I love Sophie Lark's books. I've loved every book that I've read from her. So I'm looking forward to this one. Next, as I said, when I'm on vacation, I kind of want sports romance. And even though this is like not summary sports romance, I do have The Penalty Box by Odette Stone on here. Because once again, it's been on my physical TBR for forever. I loved the first 2 books, Puck Me Secretly and Home Game, 2 fave hockey romances. And I'm really excited for this one. And I think our hero is maybe, he has like Russian mafia ties. And then there's also another trope, but I don't want to say because I think that spoils it. I want to read this one too. And I don't really have a reason for it. I just want to. I'm sorry, my brain is like mush at this point. So I'm just trying. You know, I just want to read them. I just want to read it, okay? Next up, another one I want to read, Blindside by Candy Steiner. This is the second book in her, is it Red Zone Rivals? Is that right? I read Fair Catch a couple of years back. Like, I think right when it, actually, I think maybe when Blindside released, and and everyone was talking about that one. And then me being me, I was like, well, I have to go back to the beginning, even though they're interconnected standalones, and read Fair Catch. And then I never got around to Blindside. But this is a fake dating one, and I think like a lessons type one. I don't know how their arrangement comes to be, but they obviously end up fake dating each other, and then he like helps teach her like things. I don't know. I love that. It's been so long since I've read something like that. I mean, I read fake dating books a lot, but I haven't read one where it's like him, like, you know, spicy lessons type vibes. And yeah, I need to read more from Candy Steiner. And then last two I have on here, Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros. So I finally got the audiobook in from my library, although I feel like it's gonna expire before long, but I reread Fourth Wing this past month on audio because I don't want to fall too far behind. I read Fourth Wing last year, and then I like, as soon as Iron Flame came out, I just was like not in the mood to read it anymore, so I didn't. But Onyx Storm comes out, I think, in January, and I just don't want to fall behind in this series because I feel like that's then hard to like get back up to speed and or avoid spoilers. Like I already feel like I know what happens at the end of Iron Flame, so I just need to read it and get caught up with it. So I do have the audiobook, so I think I'm gonna like audio and physically read this one because I do have the physical copy. But yeah, it's like a fantasy romance with dragons, and yeah, I really liked the first book a lot, so I'm excited to keep going with this series. I have high hopes for it. And last but not least, I have The Naked Fisherman by Julie Ann on here, which I have put off this book for a long time for not really any reason in particular. I just like have never been in the mood for it. But again, found it when I was scrolling back in my Goodreads TBR from adding it like years and years ago. And I've read one Julie Ann book before and I loved it. It was A Place Without You. I really, really enjoyed that one. And this one is like so many of my friends' like favorite books ever. So I have higher hopes for it. You know, I think like some of the tropes, it's not necessarily like I think the most like up my alley where I'm like guaranteed love, but I think I'm gonna like it. I think I'm gonna like it. And so I'm pretty sure like our heroine, she moves back in with her mom or something, and then like Fisherman, that's like his name, is like the neighbor. I don't know. I don't quite remember. And like I said, brain is literal mush right now. Like deadline brain is unwell, quite frankly. If you know me in real life and you've had a conversation with me in the last like week, I'm genuinely sorry because I have not been able to like keep a train. I feel like when I'm in this kind of like last stage crunch mode time where I probably have like 20,000 words or less on Take What You Want to write, and I need to finish by the end of this week. I feel like half of my brain is always with that story and so right now, like half of my brain is like still in the story with Jane and Nikolai, and the other half is like trying to still function through the rest of the things that I need to get done this week. So anyways, bear with me. We're almost there. So anyways, that is it for today's video. I will have my wrap up on Friday. And then I think next week you're only going to get one video from me. And I don't know what that is yet, but I'm going to work on it. I'm going to try to make it like a really good one that you guys will like. And we will see. But yeah, I think you're only going to get one video next week. But I will still have my wrap up on Friday. Yes, I'm going to manifest that. We'll get it done. Anyways, that is it for today's video. And I will see you when I see you.